What's up, my people? I'm Key, and in this video, I will make two sketchbook spreads that cover media literacy. So yeah, let's begin. And the first topic I will cover is news, fake news, disinformation, and misinformation. As you can see, this page is kind of like a news article, and it is talking about my mascot. It is kind of like a bit of lore drop. Basically, the quote-unquote article covered the fact that Key is actually quite old. He's been living from since the biblical times, but yeah. And of course, at the bottom, I had to leave some resources and whatnot. I wanted to make the article seem more credible. And as you can see, there are at the bottom two more articles. One covers disinformation, misinformation, and the other covers how to spot fake news. The images I used kind of tell you what you need to know. Disinformation is pretty much lying. It's getting the fact wrong on purpose. It's supposed to be misleading. Misinformation, on the other hand, is like accidentally getting the fact wrong. It is not meant to be misleading, but it pretty much is. Now, the second article, how to spot fake news. So first is check your sources. Is the website official? Are the articles linked in the source page? True. Second is check the evidence. Credible articles will use a lot of data, and they will link the data where they got it from. They also might use experts' opinions. And a credible article will also have a resource page. So again, you should probably check the resource page. Third is check the author. Is the author credible? Do they have a high ranking? Do they have a good reputation? And I feel like nowadays you also might have to check if they are real or AI. Next is look at other sources. Credible sources, please. You might have to do the same. Fake news checking also. Next is check your biases. Everyone got biases. That's a fact. Are your biases conflicting with the way you're viewing the article, the information, or whatever? And the last one is read deep. And by that I mean like, don't skim the article, think about it. Read it thoroughly. Read beyond the headline because sometimes headlines are exaggerated just to get your attention. So yeah, that is it for this page. Let's move on to the next topic. So the next topic and next page is film. As you can see, my mascot, Key, is on a set, backlight, fill light, front light, and in this drawing he's being filmed in a long shot. There are people running around, left, right, front, back, there are people everywhere, and he seems a little confused by it. Who knows, maybe this would be a great moment to make a dolly zoom, aka trombone shot, aka vertigo shot. If this was something a little more interactive, I could have probably done something with sound, but oh well, it's a traditional drawing, so I guess me talking is the best you're gonna get. I also like the contrast I created between the studio where everything's like cold, and then you have the set, which is mostly warm colored, it's entirely warm colored. And I really like how instead of like actually coloring people, I just used black, because first of all, I think it looks cool. It draws more attention to Key. You don't really see the person, you just see the silhouette. And also, I just have to do less work. I don't need to color them in. Though yeah, I did spend a hot minute just like coloring it with the black pen, but still, it was less work than actually coloring them in. And a bit off topic, but I really love the silhouette of this girl. The body language, the pose, the emotion. Oh my god, it's great. So yeah, that's it for this one. Let's move on to the next topic. And the last one, I kind of combined two things in one. It's both gaming, brand, and brand marketing. So I guess three, but sort of two because brand and brand marketing kind of go together. So the idea is I made this kind of like a paper doll dress-up thing. Now, a bit of context. For my previous projects, where I had to create a brand, I created this sustainable clothing brand called Anomalia. And so, I'm using the brand here, sort of like one of the topics. So, if it was made as in like actual paper doll, this would be brand marketing. But if it was made into a digital game, there you have it, a game. And again, brand advertising. So hopefully what would bring people into buying either the paper doll or the digital game is the ability to look what the clothes look like, what the brand has to offer. But instead of it being like just a magazine, it has a little more interactive part to it. And let's say in a digital game, you could also, let's say, customize certain pieces like change color, size, or make something like straps of a tank top longer or shorter. I'm thinking of it kind of like one of those gacha life games, but it being more realistic. And by realistic, I mean the clothes you see you can actually buy. And another pretty cool concept I got is if you buy one of those two products, there would be either a link or a QR code, or you can choose one of the pieces that brand can offer. You can customize but pay the price of the regular piece. The idea is that some of the money that you spent on the product is going to go towards that customizing. So think about it. You get exposure, you get advertising, while the customer gets a customized piece for themselves. Also, something that I want to mention that's sorta on topic but sorta isn't is the model I used for the paper doll concept. This character was featured in my brand project where she was the image of our target audience. In another project where I had to create advertising for this brand, she was the model. And in the third project where I had to create a concept for a TV show, she was one of the featured characters where she did most of the sewing. And she also did some modeling too. So, of course, I would want her to be the model for this project too. I like making little connections between my projects and whatnot. And for the actual product, I think it would be good to also have same kind of thing but for men. Though I'm not exactly sure if it would work, cause men usually are not into this kind of stuff, but who knows? Maybe my target audience, both genders, would be interested in something like this. I think the best way to go about it is to have the digital version with both man and woman, but then the paper cup, the paper magazine, first woman, and then depending on how the sales go, we also might add a men version. Now, this part of the project took me a lot longer than I expected. The approaching deadline was stressing me out, but I finished it, so thank God. Now, here are all of the spreads I made. Each covers certain media literacy topic in some shape or form. But this project goes beyond these four topics. Because this video is posted on social media, which is another topic that was covered in the class. Key is an influencer persona, and you could also say he's sort of branding. This video also uses some parts of audio that were covered in the class. I guess you could argue that if you exclude the visuals, this could be listened to as podcast of some sort. I just have to be a little more detailed so that you could pretty much see what I'm saying, kind of. But the only thing that's stopping me is my imagination and the deadline. But that's pretty much it. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Sincerely, Key.